Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. It is Sunday, March 2nd, 2014. This is Texas Independence Day. For those of us in Texas, always an important day to me. That said, it's an important date now for everyone watching this because it's time for a little channel update. This weekend has been a little crazy. Had a ton of fun yesterday. Last night, my nephew and I recorded a Skylanders battle tournament. Recorded it off of Swap Force, but what we utilized was all green base figures, essentially your original SSA guys, camo here being an example. If you go way back in time on my poll battle history, I had polled everyone in SSA, who's your favorite Skylander? We went all the way from number 1 down to number 32. Didn't, of course, factor in legendaries, anything along those lines. That's how I set the bracket up. If it kind of brings it back to memory, it was the DLD finals in that one was Camo versus Igniter, with Igniter actually taking the win. If you aren't familiar with that, you can search for it on the blog. There's posts. You can see all the archived polls, things of that nature. But we actually rehatched that entire thing last night. Yesterday in the morning, it was around 80 degrees here. And by supper time, it was about 20 with a wind chill around 0. And needless to say, I was outside all day until we came in to do the Skylanders battle tournament. So whenever I get that edited and uploaded, I progressively get grumpier as we go on. I have a can light out. It was really hard to see over there. We lost. We had this deal. It was hilarious. We were both cracking up the entire time. It was one of the not finals, but one of the last rounds or so. Terrafin and Stump Smash went at it. And the start of the video, we had something happen off camera that was hilarious, and then we just both started cracking up. Sadly, somehow that commentary didn't get recorded, so that bummed me out, plus I felt horrible. I sound okay right now. When I go to bed, it's all probably going to go downhill again. So by this time tomorrow, it'll be the same thing. Just rinse and repeat until you're finally not sick anymore, which tends to happen when you go from 80 degrees to 0 over the span of like 6 hours. So needless to say, it's really icy out. Not a lot of snow, but everything's like literally covered in ice, so hoping it melts off in time to go to work in the morning. That said, this is something I've wanted to do for quite some time. First thing I need to do is address something big that happened on the channel. Hit 5,000 subscribers. That is quite the milestone. I know there's people, that have like millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands and whatnot. Up until like I started the Swap Force videos, I never even asked anyone to subscribe. I've never done the annoying annotations, basically where whether you want to or not, if you accidentally click on the annotation, you're basically subscribed. When I personally watch videos, which isn't very often anymore, but when I do, that's something that always ticked me off. It just bothered me. It covers up the entire screen, and then, it's like a lag, 10 seconds at the start, 10 at the end. Sometimes randomly appearing in the video, they've set the annotations up. A lot of times it's strategic to like cover up some key element of the screen that you wish you could see. I've never done that stuff, and like I said, this all started for fun, mainly, for my nephew and I to do Mario Kart races, get them recorded because we played so often. Every night something awesome was happening, and the response each and every time was, man, wish we would have had that recorded. So that's kind of like a real quick history on how the channel got born. Could probably have a lot more if I would accept a partnership. I've been offered quite a few numerous times. I've held out doing that, but it's getting to the point that I may actually take one here coming up, just for the simple fact, if I have, say, like a Swap Force Chapter 14, if it's 5-part video and you're watching part 3 of my video, back in the glory days like SSA, you would see part 3, and then your little sidebar over here to the right, you'd see part 4, part 5, and then you'd see like chapter 15, part 1. A little farther down, you'd see like part 1 and 2 that you'd previously watched. Now, you can test this out yourself. Go to like part 3 of 5 of one of my videos, where literally you should have 2 and 2 sandwiching it, and you will see that, but it's from other channels, and invariably that kind of hits down your own views. What it is, it's the people that have partnerships. It's a great thing for them because the people that do the partnership put ads on the videos. And of course, if you've got ads on the videos, in order to get, the cash flow coming in, you need people to watch said video. So how you do that is you promote the video. It's just like all the stuff on Facebook now, you know, where you promote your post and it goes from like your little audience seeing it to everyone and their dog seeing it up to that dollar amount. It's that type of thing. I've never been a big fan of it, but bottom line, you know, when it kind of like starts to encroach on your own like playlist, it's kind of a bad thing. And I'm sure anyone that, you know, is regular on YouTube, watches videos, has your own little channel, something along those lines, you've probably noticed that too. It's progressively gotten to be more and more of an issue. Back in the day, like when I first started, there would be the people with partnerships, and you would still see like part 2 of 5, part 4 and part 5, and then the next chapter, and then you'd have like all your features down below that, and then a little box at the top that's highlighted, you know, your featured channel. Now, there's been times I can't even find my own next video, and that is a bad sign. That said, you know, it takes a ton of time to actually record when you do play through a game. You've got to then edit, render, upload. If you're like me and your internet connection isn't just like lightning fast, it turns into quite the ordeal. Again, I think it's something you have to actually do yourself to like fully appreciate it. But what happened to me on Swap Force, when it came out, I have a huge deal I put on here locally. It doesn't have anything to do with video games, but I had to take care of that. Didn't really get to start ahead of time. Plus, what I wanted to do was upgrade the equipment in an attempt basically to eliminate drop frames. It's worked fairly well. Still have that issue from time to time. But basically transitioning to the new equipment, there are a few issues and hiccups at the start that kind of slowed me down on top of everything else. Here recently, I've actually completed the Swap Force playthrough. Everything is edited, including the adventure packs. It's all uploaded to YouTube. It's just a matter of me releasing the videos now. But coming in past that, I have started the upgrade process. We're going to cover that here in just a second. But again, to the 5,000, it's a little over 5,000 now, but to all of you, thank you. Again, I realize there's people... I could do the same videos. I could do like little tactics and stunts and kind of, you know, fake people out with editing and whatnot. I don't do that. I have no desire to be on the camera. You know, I guess if there's like people mid to late 20s that are single and female, maybe it would be advantageous for me. But as is, my focus isn't on me. It's always on what we're talking about, which most of the time is Skylanders or some sort of a game. Minecraft, Mario Kart, things of that nature. I want the entire focus to actually be on what we're discussing at hand. No need for me to be in the camera. A lot of people knock that. It's just my style. I'm kind of a private person, so that backs that up. But I could do the same type of videos. You know, like I could just come in and tonight and I could paint Jetvac, you know, sublime green and lemon twist or something. Spin it off as a variant, get crud tons of views, but I want to be known as a channel that you can go to for reliable, factual information. The unboxings, a lot of people knock those. They're too long, but on the flip side, you know, I always believe there's that silent majority, namely the people that watch the videos, that actually appreciate the detail. Again, my logic, I try to make the type of videos that I would want to see. When I'm going to shell out money for something, and I like to research it ahead of time, I want to come in and learn everything I can about that product to make sure that I'm actually going to spend the money on something that I'll truly enjoy, get my, you know, value out of, and try, of course, to apply that not only to Skylanders, but all the other stuff I unbox. Same with the playthroughs as well. I could breeze right through those, I could do all kinds of other things, but it's just, I like the blind playthrough. It works for me. A lot of people want it to be called Let's Plays. Again, it's just like a generational thing. I may title some of them that in the future just for an experiment, but what I grew up with, it was a playthrough. When I played games, originally there was no internet. You basically had to have like black and white copies of someone's Nintendo Power if you needed like tips and tricks. So things have come a long way. You know, you adapt as you can, you hold on to what you want to. But again, main thing, big thanks to everybody, you know, for checking the channel out, sticking around. I sincerely appreciate it. Never really started it with the intentions of it getting to be big or having people, you know, like demanding videos, things of that nature. It was just kind of intended for fun with my nephew primarily. So everything on top of that's been gravy, really. But once again, for not soliciting people, going about it without a partnership, etc. Pretty cool milestone in my opinion. Any more partnerships go out pretty fast. Just a few years ago, there were some really, before I started doing things, and I actually had more time to watch videos, there were some guys and girls out there with really good channels. I'm talking like 15, 20,000 subscribers. And that's really what you had to have to really be considered for a partnership. Now you get like 1 or 2 videos, quite a few views on them. You'll start getting solicitations for that sort of a thing. But again, it's just kind of, I guess, the ebb and flow, you know, how things kind of progress and everything. Speaking of that, though, I guess kind of like segment 2 here is there's brand new polls on the blog. One of the reasons I kind of put the Castaways Newlanders on the back burner, I was trying really, really hard to get caught up on the Swap Force stuff. Obviously, you know, the technical issues, switching to new equipment. Obviously got the new TV finally. My current one's still sitting here on the floor. I have no idea what to do with it. I'll probably wind up donating it. I just keep having the fear that if I do that, then the new one's going to go out or something. That's how stuff goes for me. It's just like I changed this can light above a pool table. Literally took the ladder back out and then came in that night, and of course the one right beside it went out. So just usually how things go, you know. But still got that sitting there. The new TV came along, then it was the holidays, all that jazz. But like I said, slowly getting caught up, and you know, hopefully everyone enjoys it. That said, with me wrapping up Swap Force, I realize there are still a few more characters coming out. To me personally, that really doesn't change my opinion on the game, particularly, you know, like a Series 2 or Series 3, obviously. But, you know, Trap Shadow, Doomstone, Scratch, Punk Shock, characters like that, I realize some of you might develop like an affinity for and be like, wow, you know, Scratch is so great, Swap Force is my favorite, she looks great doing all this stuff, yada yada. But I feel like for the majority of people, it comes down to the individual game. And that's what the polls are there for. Again, I kind of held off. I wanted to get as many characters as good. Plus, I wanted to be able to kind of be done with the playthrough so I could fully feature my opinion. I can't remember how long I gave on that thing. I think I've got it tentatively set through like towards the end of April, maybe. It's one of those things I want to get a lot of votes on, kind of see if we can kind of see the, you know, trends continue. First 50 voters on up through 200, whatever we might wind up with. It asks, there's actually 2 of them. They're basically the same poll. But out of the console games, that's basically, you know, your Nintendo, Wii U, PS3, PS4, 360, Xbox One, your legit in-home console, not going with you in portable form. We've got Skylanders, Spyro's Adventure, the original game that started it all. We've got Skylanders Giants, the follow-up to that. And then, of course, lastly, we have Skylanders Swap Force. Basically, all I want people to do is come in and vote for whichever game you prefer the best. I debated just holding it down to, like, story mode or something. But I think what I want you to do is just factor everything in. Obviously, SSA, you got the heroic challenges on the backside. Giants, you got a little bit extra there. And then Swap Force, obviously, you've got a lot of new elements by way of the bonus mission maps, the quests, things like that. But, of course, you lost your heroic challenges. What I decided would be the great equalizer. If you cast your vote for Swap Force, you can come in, comment on the blog or this video, and say, hey, here's why I like it, but I really do miss the heroic challenges. You could say, you know, Giants was my personal favorite, but the heroic challenges were tedious. Duplicates of what we had in SSA. For that reason, got to give Swap Force the advantage overall. You could pick Swap Force and say it's the most complete game, but SSA had the best levels. Whatever you need to do, but like I said, I guess go ahead, factor everything into that. I do have my favorite picked out of those 3. Then, this hits a smaller segment. Obviously, you have to be a 3DS owner to kind of have these games and play them. But, once again, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, Skylanders Giants, and then lastly, of course, you've got Skylanders Swap Force. Same setup here. All I want you to do is basically come in, pick your favorite on the poll, submit that vote, and then if you feel the need, you can leave a comment on the blog, you can leave a comment on this video, whatever you need to do. I just basically say, hey, you know, SSA is my favorite, here's why. Giants was way better, it had, you know, 3 of my favorite levels out of the entire series. Swap Force is the best, it has the most advancements, you can put your entire library in there, yada yada. Same thing again with the console versions, just ultimately pick your favorite, and if you feel the need, go ahead and explain that. That brings us now to phase 3 of this little video here. What I have in my hand is, of course, Boomjet. Now, what I have on top of the 3DS stack is Boomjet number 2. In most cases, the characters, for example, Free Ranger, I've got Free Ranger, and then I'd have Legendary Free Ranger. You know, like Jade Firecracken, when he comes out, we'll have that. We've got Hoot Loop and Enchanted Hoot Loop. Basically, what I'm getting at with these swappers, I'm going to have 2 of each one. The reason for that, the way they work, obviously they split in half, but then more importantly, when you go to upgrade these characters, you've got your base upgrades for the top end, base upgrades for the bottom end. You've got a soul gem on the top end, a soul gem on the bottom end. But the biggest thing is you've got 2 paths for the top end and 2 paths for the bottom end. So essentially, if I were to come in and upgrade this Boomjet, who is fully upgraded by the way, have not made that video live just yet, I could showcase only half of his paths, 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. That's why this guy comes in, exact same base upgrades, exact same soul gems, but he would take the other path on the top and then the other path on the bottom. So, I started with this guy, and then I went in and I did Free Ranger, and I kind of botched that. I was really tired. But what I'm trying to figure out, as you know, I'm very, very thoroughly detailed on these things. With Swap Force, what I do, and I mentioned this in his video, the training grounds, the little dummies that are enchanted that can't die, cash, you know, cough out the cash for you and whatnot. That to me is one of my favorite features in Swap Force, for the simple fact I can buy an upgrade for Boomjet, leave the power pod, which is conveniently literally right here from the dummies. Again, I can't thank the guy at Vicarious Visions enough that came up with that idea. I realize a lot of people blow it off, you could care less about it. To me, that is a huge deal. It is very, very much appreciated. It probably comes from the guy that's really into numbers or something. But it comes in super handy for me because I can come in, well, you can take Boomjet, we can throw his primary attack and say, okay, it's doing, you know, 28 damage. I can go buy an upgrade, it's doing 35. The second upgrade's 42. Then when I take the paths, I can highlight those. Works great. The issue I have, I can come in, there's several ways I can do this. I'm going to make a poll for this as well. It's just really hard to explain it, I felt, without a video. Even at that case, I'm thinking it might still be confusing. But I can basically do option 1, which would be I come in, I take this Boomjet, I buy every upgrade, I showcase every upgrade, and then I come in the second video, I buy every upgrade, showcase every upgrade for the second Boomjet. Issue you would have there, it would just be a little bit redundant. Obviously, if I bought his basic, you know, upgrades on this figure, you wouldn't really have to see him on this guy. Obviously, if some of you are only interested in 1 or 2 of the other paths that you didn't take, it might be appreciated in the second video. Some people probably wouldn't mind going back to the first one. So again, option 1, insanely thorough on every facet of the game. Option B, this is your next choice. I can come in, get all his base upgrades, get both soul gems top and bottom, and do both paths for the top and the bottom. Then what I would do, I would come in with Boomjet 2. I would already have his base upgrades, and then essentially all I would showcase is, alright, here's Boomjet video number 2. We're going to take Squadron Leader and Sky Pilot here because we didn't take them with Boomjet 1. Here's the damage they do, and then I'd probably go ahead just for good measure and do the soul gems. Because I realize most people, if you're ready to pick a path and you're researching it, you would obviously probably want to know about the soul gems as well. Perk to that, it saves me a little bit of time. The videos would be way shorter, which means they render and upload quicker. And again, it basically wipes out the redundancy, where I don't have to showcase base upgrades here and the base upgrades here. Now, option C, and some people might actually prefer this. We come in, we've got our boom jet here. I make a video for his base upgrades. Top and bottom, base upgrades, that's video number 1. Video number 2 would be top path, top end path number 1. Video number 3 would involve the second boom jet, but it would simply be top half path number 2. Then we come back in, video number 4 would be bottom end path 1, and then we take boom jet number 2's bottom end, and we would come in and we would do bottom end path 2 for video number 5. Again, it kind of confuses me, but I think that's about as good as I can explain it, sadly. Ultimately, I'm just looking for feedback here. I want to know what you would prefer. To kind of rehash it real quick, option 1 would be one video that entails every upgrade, each path, and then of course you'd have to have the second figure, and I would do every upgrade, every upgrade path, and they'd essentially be the longest videos, the most detailed, the most complete. Option 2, figure number 1 gets treated to all the upgrades, including one of the 2 paths, top and bottom, and then the second video would just include the other 2 paths for the top and the bottom. Soul gems as well, but again, I'd eliminate the basics. Option 3 would basically be 5 videos. We'd come in, we'd have base upgrades for boom jet, then we'd have top path 1, top path 2, bottom path 1, bottom path 2. 5 videos. Perk there, they would be like really convenient if you're just like, okay, what does Skyrider path do for boom jet? You'd search it, you'd find the video, and then that's literally all you would see. They would all pan out the same. I mean, literally, you could do option 1 and you could find that. It would just be in like a 20 to 25 minute video, as opposed to something that might be like 8 to 10. Each has their perks. Obviously, the most thorough. You can't ever really go wrong there, but I realize some people wouldn't like the redundancy. Option number 2 is kind of a mix of both, and then option number 3 would be super convenient for you if that's what you were looking for. It's just if you wanted like a complete rundown on boom jet, you'd have to watch the 5 separate videos. So let me know what you would like to see there. Again, if it works better for you to leave a comment, just do that. Sadly, I've already done boom jet and free ranger. I intended to do free ranger like I mentioned for option number 2, and then I was really enjoying his upgrades and I kind of got carried away and wound up doing it like option number 1. So my apologies there, but I'm literally at the point where I'm actively upgrading, getting the rest of the cash for the characters, things along those lines. So again, I realize that's a little confusing. I think, obviously, if you've played the game, you're a Skylander fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just kind of phrase out however it makes the most sense to you. But, again, I'll have a poll on the blog, oneofwisdom.com. Check that out. Cast your vote. Like I said, feel free to leave your feedback here. What I may do, I intended to do the swappers first. But what I might do while I'm seeking feedback on this is just come in and crank out some of the Newlanders. For the simple fact there's like not as complex of an upgrade process. So that said, this video is a little longer than I intended it to be, but number 1, 5,000 subscribers, very cool. Thank you very much. Hopefully you stick around, tell your friends about it. I have some really cool stuff planned. My nephew and I have a couple of special 5,000 subscriber videos we plan on doing. Just need the time there. Number 2, brand new polls up. Which is your favorite console version of Skylanders the game, and which is your favorite 3DS version of the game? Again, if you did not know, the 3DS versions are entirely different. That's why I ask that you abstain from voting unless you've actually played them or something. Third phase of this video is basically, what would you like to see the upgrade videos look like? There's essentially 3 ways I can do it. I'd love your feedback. I want to make the videos be as enjoyable as possible for you. So if you've got any ideas there, definitely let me know. I'll see what I can do to make it happen for you. But I will leave it at that. Again, for the 5,000 subscribers, As soon as I get a little bit of free time, I have a crud ton of videos on YouTube that are private that I need to release. Some are Skylander Giant upgrade videos, excessively thorough. I've got quite a few of them up. I just haven't ever gotten the time to release the others because I like to make the blog post with them. I've got Mario Kart Wii, the 100cc. I've had that stuff up for years. I just need to make it live. I'm going to come in and record the 150cc stuff very soon. Couple of other things, I may cover that in another video, but we do have some special stuff planned. This is kind of just, like I said, an update. Hey, 5,000 subscribers. New polls, which is your favorite Skylanders game? And then, since I value the 5,000 of you so much, I want to know what you would like to see in terms of the upgrades. Obviously, I can tailor it however we decide. I'll see how it pans out. Might do trial versions of each way and kind of get feedback from there. But I'll see how that goes. Like I said, I may actually come in tonight and start upgrading the Newlanders just to kind of buy a little bit more time for the swappers. But I can tell you one thing, they're a ton of fun to upgrade. Very cool to see how these swappers progress. And then, of course, I'll come in on the Xbox One version. We're going to do Nightmare Mode with the fully upgraded characters, so you got that to look forward to. But once again, thanks to everybody so much for helping us get to the 5,000 mark. Very cool deal. I think my nephew might have been slightly more excited than me, so that was a pretty awesome deal. But I will quit rambling. Again, thank everyone so much. Please cast your vote for which Skylanders game you prefer the best. And of course, if you have any ideas on option 1, 2, or 3 for the Swap Force upgrades, definitely let me know. I've got a poll up on the blog there as well. I'll have some links in the video description. You can check those out. The polls, of course, are going to be on the right-hand side of my blog, just below the Twitter feed. One last thing, my nephew has a new poll battle series regarding Minecraft mobs. His polls are on the left-hand side, right at the top, easier to find. His blog, thewalkthroughking.blogspot.com. If you're into Minecraft, definitely check those out. He's having a good time with that. But once more, can't thank everybody enough. I sincerely appreciate it. Again, the main thing on this channel mainly was just to have fun, document what my nephew and I were doing with video games. And then, of course, kind of snowballed from there. And I could do things a little differently, but I do it my way, and I try to make things as thorough as possible to give you the most information I can. It's definitely not for everyone, but for those of you that appreciate that, I in turn appreciate you appreciating that. So I'll quit rambling, though. Thanks again for watching. Hope everyone has a great March, and we will catch you back here next time.